everybody, it's just me, Talkin Tom. I bet you never expected me to have an opinion on the Jubilee. And so, here we are, 20 years down the road from Annus Horribilis. I've had a few of them. Anyways, people, now I've got your attention. I'd not be the #1 bestest in the world investigative journalistic catty person if I didn't tell you a little bit of background information on this old Jubilee, cause lots of people are a little bit rough around the edges and a little bit pig shit thick when it comes to knowing about the royal family. So, if you're sitting comfortably with a nice cup of tea and a nice slice of toast from not King's Mill but Queen's Mill, I'll begin. On the 21st of April 1926, a little girl was born. She was called Elizabeth. Although royal and with blue blood, she was never ever meant to become the queen. Her dad was never ever meant to become the king. But because of a little bit of the old, "Ooh, how's your father?" and her uncle being a little bit of a naughty bugger, he upped and abdicated. So her dad had to take on the role of being the king. Very sadly, our poor dad died in 1952. He was quite young, and she became the queen, quite young. And then she took on the whole of the Commonwealth. She was a queen regent of 7 independent Commonwealth countries, you know. So here we are, 60 years later. It's a long time, I give her that. But she's had it kind of easy, like shaking hands with gloves on. You can't shake hands without the glove on. You might be infected by a human being's hand. And you can't say that she's had the struggles of other nanas. I mean, I know she's in her 80s, but my nana's in her 80s as well. This afternoon, while the Queen was probably shaking hands with gloves on, watching people wave a flag, my nana was in her kitchen with her bowl out making homemade sausage rolls. How come we're living in a country that's full of red, white and blue shite everywhere, even though loads of people don't like the royal sodden family? It's not just me being a miserable twat, as I've been told on numerous occasions over the course of the last 3 weeks, whilst I've been bombarded with Jubilee stuff left, right and centre, be it on the television or in the shops or wherever. Everywhere I go, it's all I hear, and I don't give a toss about it. You can't escape it, can you? You'd think that everybody loved bloody red, white and blue shite all over the place, bunting and fucking astas up and down every sudden aisle. You're looking for a tin of baked beans and all you can find is pissing knickers with crowns on. For 60 whole years, this queen, the woman in charge of our nation, me, one of our subjects, has had to pay to keep her in one of our big houses. She doesn't pay no rent, she doesn't make her own dinner, and I bet you any money in the world she doesn't pay for her own electricity bill. And, as our subjects, whether we like it or not, we have to endure this bloody weekend of red, white and blue stuff. It's going to go on from the 2nd to the 5th of June. We've got no choice in the matter, we've got to put up with it. It's going to happen, the television's going to be full of it. Not only the telly, it's in all the papers, it's all over the sodden internet, it's everywhere you look. People have even got red, white and blue buttons outside their sodden front doors, and the same people, when you ask why, they haven't got a clue. They think it's her birthday. Well, it's not a bloody birthday. She already has 2 sodden birthdays. This is another party! I don't have a problem with her as a woman. She looks like any other nana to me. But I bet you any money she doesn't buy her shoes in Marks and Spencer's and her jumpers in the Bon Marcy shop, or do her shopping in Asda's. That's a thought. Imagine getting all the way through life and never have gone to see what's on the whoopsie counter in Asda. No taste better in the world than a cake or a pizza that's only cost you 6 pence on the whoopsie counter. I bet it costs more than 6 pence to give the Windsors their supper. Anyway. Everyone has pet hates, and you can't hate us because we've got pet hates. My pet hate is bunting. I really hate bunting. You don't know how bad bunting makes me feel. It makes my head bubble inside, and it makes me want to explode. I can't stand the sight of the fucking stuff. As you're very well aware, I'm a Geordie cat, and I don't actually call bunting. I call it bunting, but you probably wouldn't understand what I meant when I told you that bunting got on my fucking lap. I'm quite a laid-back cat. Not many things get me goat, but I can only compare my hatred for Jubilee bunting with the contempt I feel towards me nana's commemorative royal wedding tea towel, circa 1981, which was bought to celebrate the wedding of our Prince Charles to Lady Diana Spencer. Even though it's no longer navy blue and there's a rather large beetroot stain right down one side of Diana's face, still in canny nick, and I cannot criticise its ability to dry the dishes some 30 years after it became my nana's favourite tea towel. You know, credit where credit's due. I still prefer to dry our dishes with a nice plain chetty tea towel, one that's white and not stained, you know, because washing the dishes and drying them and having to look at their 2 faces drives me up the friggin' wall. So, to all you royalists celebrating this weekend, I didn't care about your criticisms. I didn't care if you say I'm a miserable twat for not getting involved in all this flag waving and shitey palaver. It's doing me bouncing. This woman's got a wealth of trillions. And there's people suffering and starving and struggling every day of their lives to survive in our own country. And she expects us to foot the bill of this fucking million Jubilee celebration. That's what annoys me. If she was paying for it herself, well, that's fine. But she isn't funding any of it. None of it. So I'm quite entitled to get annoyed and aggrieved about it. So, after investigating and looking at all of the facts, I come to this conclusion. I don't actually mind that this country has a royal family. I'm not particularly bothered about it either way. The only thing that offends me is the fact that we have to pay for it. If the Queen put her hand in her pocket and paid for this Jubilee herself, well, that's fine. All very well. You lot have your button, and I'll not turn my telly on for a week. Doesn't bother me. Well, I'm lying there. I will turn it on in the week because Big Brother starts on Tuesday, and I'm rather excited about that whole situation, but that's a different story. And so to close this news special about the Jubilee, I'd like to sing you a little song if that's okay with you. If not, just press stop now and piss off. But if you stay and listen, I guarantee within 10 minutes you'll be singing it yourself. Jubilee, stick your bunting up your arse. Jubilee, it's just a big fat bloody farce. To the left, to the right, jump up and down and to the knees. We must endure Tory cuts, but then they spend loads of money on the Queen. Jubilee, stick your bunting up your arse. Jubilee, it's just a big fat bloody farce. The plastic flags that they wave, they're red, white and blue. Around this country you'll see we'll all be singing this song. Jubilee, stick your bunting up your arse. Jubilee, it's just a big fat bloody farce.